Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, generals and admirals. Today, I'm going over something slightly different. If you're new to the channel, this is General Johnny Strategy, where I provide real-time strategy tips to real-time strategy games. But today, we're going to go over the top 5 causes for lagging out or dropping or crashing from Napoleon Total War 3. At top number one reason, if you are going to play this game, understand this very clearly. You cannot alt tab. What that means is if you are in the game, and I mean physically in the game, not in the lobby of the game, you can actually alt tab in the lobby of Napoleon Total Warfare 3. But once you've actually initiated the game and the loading screen is gone and everybody is loaded into the map, or during the process of loading into the map, as soon as that blue check mark goes away and you pop up on the loading screen, you cannot alt tab. If you alt tab, you will instantly drop. You can select back into the game, clicking the icon, but it'll just load up and eventually it'll look like you're loading back into the game, but once you actually get back into the game, it'll say something along the line of desync or disconnected from Steam or what have you. So, number one thing, do not alt tab. If you played this game at any point or have any familiarity with the game, yeah, you know that this game is really old and it can't handle that kind of process, so don't alt tab. At reason number 2, we have failed to restart the game. So after playing every single game, and again, same rule applies, as soon as that check mark goes away and you are actually physically in the game, or the loading screen to the game in multiplayer, then that is your last chance. If you So that constitutes you playing a game. After you play the game, if you drop out, what have you, you need to go back out to the main menu and quit. You need to quit the application. Sometimes the application you'll have to Control Alt Delete, open up the task manager, and actually close out that process in order to completely restart the game. Um, the reason being, once you restart the game, it has a lot of forcing functions that kind of repair some of the files that it created. Also, your chat bar, the third party chat bar, will not work unless you restart the game. So if you've noticed it on some games, and you know, you try playing another game, sometimes it does allow you to play. It will occasionally allow you to play the actual game, but there's going to be a lot more bugs, a lot higher probability that you lag out, but the chat bar will not be there if you do not restart the game. At reason number 3, we have running background processes. So that's really clearly, if you just have another tab open, behind your game, that's just going to be more of a reason for your game to crash. With that being said, there's certain things on Steam settings that we'll go over in a little bit. You can actually turn off your automatic updates, so that way Steam is not trying to connect via automatic updates while you're playing. This will disrupt and desynchronize the game, also causing you to drop. At reason number 4, we have optimization settings. So a little bit less known, but there are actual settings, since it's such an old game, that you can use to make sure that you do not drop. And one of the biggest things I was reading over here on the Discord is really a lot of people drop from the sound settings. So it's a little bit of a risk if you run the settings in game and you change it to a higher sound channel or memory. But occasionally you will actually crash because of the amount of sound audio trying to be processed. Again, so That's what the optimization settings have. I'm not going to go into everything. I'll just show you up on the screen what those optimization settings are, and you simply go into your settings or in your scripts and execute that. Okay, then this is what you're gonna need. Okay, so you can take a real quick look at here. I'll pull up on Discord where to find this, but some of the important things to need to know is you're going to want to change your camera move speed. Okay, 500 is probably a little excessive, but you can definitely up that up. It'll help you move around the battlefield a lot better. 20 works well as well. And then mouse wheel sensitivity, definitely want to amp that up. And then obviously the biggest one is going to be your camera type. So this is at 2 right now. So that is 2 for debug. So that'll allow you to basically have a limitless camera, and it won't be limited to a certain range or anything like that. So go ahead, make those setting changes. And then here are the other settings as far as the graphics that are actually going to optimize you to make sure that you don't drop out in the middle of the game. So we'll pull up real quick on Discord what that looks like. Are on Discord, the Lord's page, NTW3. So it's got all the information. If you just go to the optimization tab here, then it really gives an in-depth analysis of everything that you need to change, everything that is going to optimize your settings. Okay, these are all the script settings that you should put in there that we just went over how to get there, and put those in, and you should be good. If you're just looking to obviously optimize it from in-game without having to mess with the scripts, then here you go. That is the best way to do it as well. It tells you the things that you absolutely need to have if you're playing multiplayer, and then the other things that you can kind of tweak around. You want to go to your Steam profile and make sure that you navigate. I'll show you real quick, but you never want to allow the background downloads. So go ahead and make that change real quick. We'll go over a few things in the Steam app that you can actually change to make sure that you do not lag out or anything like that. So if you go to library, okay, Napoleon Total Warfare 3, properties. Okay, so we get to properties, and make sure you go to your installed files, and then you're just going to click this button here, verify integrity of the game files. If you're having any issues, this will basically make sure all the files for the base game are uploaded correctly. I'm just going to press that real quick. It's going to take a second, and then it'll be good to go. And this will fix a lot of your issues if you are having issues. If you're having issues outside of just verifying your basically files, then you're going to have to back out, and you're really just going to have to use the installation guide and just do a clean reinstall. It'll take like 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to do. And I have a video linked in the description for that as well. How do I actually start up the game? So you're going to go here, you're going to go to your file path, and you're going to select the version 9.6, and you're going to run it as an administrator. Okay. Also, make sure that you go here and just create a shortcut, click and drag it to my desktop, and then I'm just going to launch it from there. So I'm going to go ahead and press run as administrator, yes, okay, and then you will get the pop-up for the actual guide to get into the game. So you're going to press multiplayer if you want to go play multiplayer. And lastly, today I'm just going to go over some other errors that you might be seeing. So the top errors that I've seen are no response from host. So if you get a no response from host, um, that this is the best thing that you can do. Really, the possible solutions include restart Steam, restart PC, restart router mode, change Steam region, launch Steam in admin mode, and which I've already shown you, and use VPN. Okay, so these are all the things. I occasionally do get this, and I just do one of these, and eventually it will fix itself. If your error says something along the lines of you have dropped from your game, typically that's a connection issue. Really, the reason for dropping is mostly due to connectivity issues and not so much about the quality or the processing power of your actual setup. Same thing for if there was a desync in Steam, or it says something along the lines of there was a desync in the game, then that is just simply, again, connectivity issue. Sometimes it's a host issue, and it's unfortunately playing this game. Whoever has the lowest connectivity, that's going to be what everybody else experiences. So just keep that in mind. Okay, and occasionally on Tuesdays, or mostly on Tuesdays, Steam does Steam maintenance. I believe it's 0 on Central European time. So whatever that shakes out to be, wherever you are. Okay, and if you are playing and you simply just get a black screen and all your application shuts out, then that just means you crashed. Again, typically that's going to happen because of the sound settings, or maybe the rest of your settings weren't optimized, and that is purely a system error, and it just occurs occasionally. So, and this is just an example on one of my live streams. So correctly, loaded all the way into the game. And just an example of what a crash to desktop might look like. So typically this, so it just, everything goes away, maybe it minimizes, and then you're just back at your desktop as you see here. Actually, what happened in this scenario, right, is I accidentally clicked off screen. I had a dual monitor situation going on. And once you, like I said, Alt Tab, or get back onto the desktop, you cannot load back into the game. So that's essentially what happened here. You can see I said a little oopsies there, but yeah. So I just wanted to go over that last real quick point about crashing to desktop. I just wanted to hit this real quick, go over what everything, if your game actually loads in correctly, what it should look like. So this is actually from one of my live streams, but keep in mind, if this blue marker is stuck there for, I'd say, more than 20-30 seconds, and you can physically click on it and it turns back to a check mark, that again means the lobby has basically bugged out. You've sat too long in the lobby and you won't be able to start. But pending that, after 20-30 seconds or so, at the long end, sometimes it's quicker, like 10-15 seconds. You can see you finally get into this loading screen, which is really the first step. And then once you all the way load in here, that means you've physically loaded into the game, as we'll see in a second here. So this is the screen you'll get. It'll usually start out with a 300 or 300 plus second clock. Okay, and it'll count down. If it gets down to 0, typically it stops trying. Everybody kind of crashes out at that point. That means someone didn't load in. But if it resets, like you can see there, it's a little bit poor quality, but it reset back to about, I think, 309. That's just an indication, that everybody has loaded in. This clock typically gets down to, if it's taken a while, it'll get down to 100 seconds. I would start being concerned if it got lower than 100 seconds, but I've also seen it work, as low as 50 seconds, 30 seconds, or whatever. What have you. But once you finally get this, the clock is gone and all you have is players ready, and you can click this and you get this final timer. That means you've correctly loaded into the game successfully, and pending any other issues throughout the game, crashes, then you are actually in the game with everybody else. Again, if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead, like, subscribe, and follow for future content. I will continue on the intermediate tutorial guide. I also have a few videos on battle analysis that will be coming out soon this month. So stay tuned, subscribe, like, and comment for future content.